This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Audible. Coming up, it's considered Pixar's first fairy tale. Today, we check out the movie Brave.
Today in movies, we are talking about Pixar's new flick, Brave. And as tradition for attending a Pixar flick, we also saw a short film ahead of time.
Oh, yes. I forgot about
this
that.
one is called La Luna. As you guys remember, it was nominated for an Academy Award this year. I remember putting it on my list. Did you guys vote for it?
I can't remember.
I didn't. I picked that other one that won.
But now how can you, but now wait a minute,
what I
how
was
can
gonna
that be
say
up for an
is
Academy Award? It didn't even come out.
They did. They put it out last year. Yeah.
On what, just space?
No, they just released it. I don't know how they worked it, but they wanted it eligible.
Such a beautiful movie.
You know.
I wish I could have seen, I mean, I feel a little bit like, I didn't even want to know about this movie until it came out. But anyway, go ahead. It was gorgeous and amazing and luminary.
So was it? Because we
that was amazing.
We never, people
one of my favorites of their shorts, and their shorts are always so fun.
Yeah,
this one, I think, had a sort of lyric poetry to it that others of them don't. I mean, they've done everything across the spectrum from like broad Bugs Bunny style comedy to
very surreal, like 70s animation stuff with night and day
just
chasing
sort of
each other.
Sweet little moments. This one really felt more like a poem, like something you'd read to your kid before they went to sleep at night.
Definitely.
And it's really beautiful. It sings.
And a cool idea. You know what I mean? Like a really cool idea.
Yeah. So then we watched Brave.
Brave!
Brave is about a young woman, a princess.
Keep going, you're almost there.
Is going to be wed and has to meet a bunch of suitors.
In the Scottish Highlands.
In the Scottish Highlands. And then a...
thing happens.
No spoilers.
And then a big... transformation happens that takes us into the second act of the movie. And it's a very fairy tale-like situation and adventure and all that stuff. I mean, it's weird because it's not really a spoiler, but I don't know how you guys are going to discuss this without talking about it.
I think we can do it without
I've been thinking about it a lot.
Okay, because, yeah, I mean, it was originally titled something else. I mean,
I'm really glad I didn't know what happens. And I give them a lot of credit for the stuff that they showed leading up to it, not revealing the second and third act of this movie.
I've actually gone back and seen the trailer, and there really isn't, only after seeing the movie, you know what you saw.
Now there's lots of ways you can get yourself spoiled from tons of products that are out on store shelves, so hopefully you don't, because I'm very glad that I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
And well, I think leading up to this movie, I mean, we're always excited about the next Pixar. We're all huge Pixar fans. But leading up to this movie, I think there was a level of doubt, I think, specifically in me, of, is this movie gonna have that magic? It felt a little more like a more pedestrian animated film. It felt very typical, and people were saying, you know, it kind of looks like a DreamWorks movie. My girlfriend was like, "Oh, that's Pixar? I thought it was DreamWorks, right?"
Even just doing a fairy tale princess thing is very much more like a traditional Disney animated film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even it
about
being
Tangled or
Humans is very traditional, not Pixar.
I mean, we've seen
you know
Pixar do Humans.
I'm sorry, superheroes.
And Ratatouille.
Like
and
actual humans talking mice.
But us people too. Anywho.
But I'm just saying, this is straight up like family drama.
I'm here to tell you.
Not that at all.
I'm here to tell you.
And it's
don't worry about it. Show your face.
It has the Pixar magic. It has the Pixar magic. And the first thing in the first 2 minutes of the movie that I realized, oh, we're in the good hands of Pixar. Not that other companies aren't good hands as well, but there's something more special here. And in those first 2 minutes, you see a child version of our hero, and she sort of waddles around because she's just a little kid. And the level of animation that is an example of, but that permeates through the entire movie. So much of this movie is communicated through animation. There are entire characters that only communicate how they feel and what they're trying to express through how they're animated. And it is such a special thing that this company does remarkably well. They really are carrying on that mantle of Disney animation to the new generation, because so much emotion, so much character, so much personality is expressed in these hand animated sequences, and it's absolutely stunning. Her hair is amazing. I mean, it's a beautifully rendered film.
Wait,
then
hand animated?
You know they talk about animation, so it's not motion capture. You know, animated by human beings.
But still computer.
Got
it's
it.
computer generated.
Well, it's generated. Yeah,
Right.
but it's not generated by a
hand-drawn, but
computer.
yeah.
I just thought, I was like, oh my god, did I like?
I know.
I was
You know, at the
sleepy.
end of every
Did I fall
Pixar-
asleep and see, and there was an opening sequence that was.
There was
No, not
hand-drawn.
hand drawn,
Right.
hand animated. You know how
Got
at the
it.
end of every Pixar movie it says animated by real human beings or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, very important to them. So that already establishes that it's a special experience. Then this movie, where it goes, what happens, how it speaks to both a general human experience and also this sort of fairy tale trope that we're all familiar with, and how it turns that on its head, and how we get a main character, a princess, who at no point in this movie is concerned with having her prince save her. And it's much more about a different relationship in her life than it is about, being a princess and finding a prince and all that stuff. It puts a spotlight on a different, equally humanizing, beautiful, wonderful experience. There were, I cried at the end of this movie. I was moved, and it's such a special movie. It's in the top tier of Pixar movies for me, and I really was taken with the experience and what it had to say about life and family. It was just magical and wonderful.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great film. I too had the same exact response or thought when I saw Brave and saw trailers and stuff. I didn't realize it was a Pixar movie, and I was worried because I was like, well, why do I have this? I've always had this. Oh my God, new Pixar. It's like Christmas morning. You know what I mean? And for whatever reason, I just didn't have that, and I fear that people are going to have that experience. And if you are a fan of Pixar, this is a must run go see. If you are a fan of Disney animated movies, it is a must run and go see.
If you're a fan of good movies.
If you are a fan of good movies, it's a must run and go see. Everybody else should just stay at home. I don't know what that means. I was surprised at how they were able to kind of get these characters. I mean, you talked about the sort of animation and bringing these characters to life. She has 3 brothers that never say anything through the entire movie, and they are such characters. You know those kids. You know how they act. You know how little brothers do those things. You know what I mean? It's so honest and yet heightened in the situation that you're in. And there's also moments where, talking about flipping the thing on its ear, you have those moments where, like, the guys are all fighting, and there's no way to get order, and the queen just walks through the center of them, and it's like showing her power even over the people who, in most movies, have all the power. You know what I mean? And sometimes you'll get the powerful queen that kind of has the ear of the king, but you don't understand it until you see a little moment like that. And those are just little moments. If I had to have a gripe, the voice acting is also amazing across the board. If I had to have a little bit of a gripe, if I must go there, midway through the beginning part of Act 2, we kind of figure out what the thing is that needs to happen, and that never changes. You see the movie, 20 minutes, 25 minutes in the movie. It's fun, but I was worried because I was like 25 minutes in the movie, I go, well, wait a minute, now I see this whole movie. I get this whole movie. Oh, it'll probably change. It never does, but I get there in such a fun way that I'm okay with that. Do you know what I mean? So if I had to pick a gripe, but really there is no gripe. It's a great movie, and baby cry.
Really interesting. Having said that,
what, you heartless devil? You didn't cry?
That's you heartless devil.
I don't talk about it.
Yeah, you don't talk about being heartless, devil man.
Having said that, what do you guys think? Do you think that it sounds like you do think that the marketing and not showing the second act of the movie helped it?
I'm so happy. I'm so happy about that.
Do you think it as well? That
it helped my experience. I don't know if it'll help get people in the seats.
Yeah.
It definitely, because some of the joy
you think the movie's
of this
better
movie
having
is the
not
discovery.
knowing anything about.
I think, I'm not as much of a need to not be spoiled as Jeff. I mean, I could have still had a really fun time, with that trip. You know what I mean? Knowing what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But that said, you know, I don't know if it's going to hurt the movie-going experience or not, because people may not go. I mean, maybe that was, you know, showing some of that may have enticed people to go, oh my God, it's gorgeous Disney, Pixar, I love this, I want to go. Do you know what I mean?
I will say this, I just found that choice very odd. Even, I mean,
you mean
Wall-E did the same thing. They didn't show what it's, you know, what really the second act of that movie is either. But I found it odd for this because that second act is so, it's not like mind-blowing in any way. It's very, I think it would endear. I think it would endear people to see the movie that are right now in the marketing very like what actually is the movie.
Yeah.
And then to people that feel like, oh, what is it? Making it so special. I don't think it lives up to. I don't think the premise is as special as the mystery behind it.
But also, you got to realize Pixar has been advertising on the characters. You know what I mean? Most Pixar movies are advertised by 2 minutes of Wall-E going beep, beep, beep. And it's like, I want to go. I want to go see it. You know what I mean? But it's like, boom, I want to go see that.
Right.
I don't care about the story that this character goes. I don't want to see it.
But then, like, Finding Nemo is all about, oh my God, how is he going to get?
Well, it's called Finding Nemo.
It's true.
If Nemo didn't get lost, I'd be like,
becoming a chef.
Yeah,
Nemo's been here the whole time.
It's interesting that you bring that up because, you know, we had, so Cars 2, it's a fun movie. We liked it.
Sure.
Toy Story 3 is a masterpiece. I don't think anybody's disputing that. But before that, it was Wall-E and Up.
Wall-E.
I know, my voice is...
Yeah, but it was perfect. It sounded exactly like
you know, I think I love the first half of Wall-E, and I think the first 10 minutes of Up is perfection.
Yeah. Right, Up's the other one we didn't see.
But both of those movies have a drastic change that happens in their second halves, and to the point where they're not my favorite movies just because I feel like they could become very pedestrian, sort of just action-adventure tales, both of them. And here, I think we have a much more consistent story being told, which is why, for me, it's in that top tier of Pixar where I put Incredibles and Ratatouille and the Toy Stories, because it's a more direct route that we go through the story, rather than having a distinct sort of break between the first half and the second half, like those two movies. And I appreciated that. I liked that, and I liked not knowing where I was going to end up. I mean, yeah, it's a little predictable at a certain point, but I was so charmed by the choice, and like, oh my gosh, we're sticking with this. This is where we're going.
Was really great.
And having the movie, what it's about. I love the fact that I didn't know what this movie was about. I mean, even Wall-E, yes, where we end up in that movie, I had no idea, but I knew what it was going to be about. You know what I mean? I was going to be about this little man, his love, and you know, and isolation and all that stuff.
Right, totally.
And with this, the theme of this movie, the main theme of this movie, has been a mystery, and I love that, and it's such a wonderful theme.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't think you can go wrong by going to see it. It's beautiful.
You don't need to be brave to buy a ticket to see.
Also, you don't need to be brave.
But you can be brave if you want.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, we want to thank our sponsors, Jeff Cannata.
Oh my gosh, I always love talking about Audible.com.
Yeah, baby.
You know me, I love audiobooks. And Audible.com.
Dallas Multipass.
Yes, I love listening to them. And Audible.com is really the best place in the world to get them. It is the largest repository of spoken word, entertainment, and audible books, audiobooks.
Every time I hear the word repository, I always think someone says suppository.
No.
And I always think that's not where I want to put my books, audio or otherwise.
One way to listen to them. The other is to put them in your iPod or MP3 player and put them in your ear hole. Very different place. Very different.
That's why I canceled my account.
They've got over 100,000 titles to choose from. You should re-up and then, try
I will, now that it goes into your ears.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
It's a lot less uncomfortable.
Yeah, and everything's so muffled.
Yes. They've got every kind of conceivable genre you can imagine. I've recommended numerous books. The one I'm listening to right now, I mentioned last time, it's called Tigana. Highly recommend it. Really, really fun. Great audiobook. Really wonderful reader whose name escapes me.
I read the prequel, Tacoma.
What? Tacoma?
Tigana?
Gone.
Oh, Tigana. Come before you leave.
All right.
Interesting.
I try to be like Jeff, guys. Only the master.
Audible Podcast. Audiblepodcast.com/totallyRad.
You're all suckers.
We'll get you a free audiobook. You can choose Alex's listening method or Dan's titling method and get yourself a free book. Go to audiblepodcast.com/totallyRad.
Amazing. Also, Comic-Con's coming up. It's creeping up. Beep, beep, beep. Friday, 8 p.m.
It's
room
exciting. This is
24AB.
exciting.
See,
This is an exciting year for Comic-Con.
I'm excited.
What with us being there for our 5th year in a row.
Wow.
That is pretty exciting. I hope you're there,
50th
even if it's your
anniversary.
1st year in a row to see us.
Correct.
Or 5th. There's people who've been to all of our panels.
Yeah.
We like those people best.
Yes.
So
Although
stars.
not as.
See you guys tomorrow.
Join us tomorrow for our review of the movie Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Today's Twitter question with the hashtag TRSQ is sent in from @Bearfort. If you could see any of your stats after you die, which one would you choose?
Kills.
Interesting.
Oh, 0.
No.
0 kills.
Stuck 4?
Accidentally.
What? What? Who for? What for?
I would like.
Dexterity?
I would love to know how many people loved something that all the things that I've made in life.
Lives changed by my existence.
That'd be interesting.
It's like-
yeah, touched by an angel very
One?
much. Yeah. 0?
I really thought it would be more.
I really thought nobody? It changed nobody's life? Well, now I'm dead and pissed off.
What would
That's
you
the
say?
problem, is you gotta watch out because there's some stuff that you don't want to know, you know what I mean?
What if you could just only see headshots? Sorry.
Wait, of kills or
I know, I was thinking like pictures, it's like,
pictures of you?
yeah.
Well,
I don't know. It's a weird thing because it's like, how many people loved me? Well, no, I don't really want to know that because it's
Strength?
gonna be a low number and I'll be like, fuck.
strength, dexterity.
Like, oh wow, I got 36 strength. That's pretty decent.
I guess, yeah,
pretty good.
I guess it would be interesting to see, like, compare yourself to other people physically. Like,
how
how
many
did I
things
do?
you ate?
Intelligence.
You know what, though? You know what I always find? It
many
would
things
actually
you
be
ate?
interesting would be, like, hours played.
Well,
You know what I mean?
Well, that
Well,
would be
actually,
your age.
there's a whole. I mean,
Yeah, but you broken down by hour. I'm not
If we
gonna
take
put that
this,
down.
you could
if we
just
take
do
this
that right
really
now.
seriously, there are some things that would be super
Yeah,
fascinating.
like how many hamburgers
Yeah, like
did you eat in your life?
right. Yeah.
I mean, we could find those.
Calories
people have,
eaten.
like,
I can't
Or-
find those
not
out.
How
specifically,
many,
but
how many times did I trim my toenails?
Yeah.
Wow, I trimmed my toenails
Really
a
not
lot.
enough. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think there'd be some of that stuff would be really fascinating.
Yeah, how many pairs of underwear did I go through?
Yeah. Right. How many times did I say the word shit? Or you know, who knows?
Or any other word. Pants.
Pants.
Some of us more than others.
yeah.
Good question.